Well, good morning, everyone. And once again, welcome to another live this morning, and hope you're having a great day. And I'm enjoying my vitamin C this morning. I hope you are having a great day. Good morning, Nativity and Edith, Delia, Francis, how are you? Andrea, Nouveau Brunswick. John from Elgin, Illinois. I just forgot somebody up here. Coralie, Pauline, Jeanette, how are you guys? Okay, our friend John, Roma, Sandra, Bonnie, thanks for coming on this morning. Nick, how are you? Joss from Baxter, Marin, and Takalini. I like that. Good morning, Takalini. I hope I said that right. And good morning to you guys. Jerry, how are you? Kim from Timmins, Diane, and Claudette, bonjour. Erica, Lise, and you guys are great. Ezrut, Raja, or Raja, I don't know. I hate to butcher your names, guys. Sometimes I do. Margaret, Annalise, Mark Anthony. I like that. Good morning to you. Okay, we got a big crowd. Guess what we're talking about this morning? Kidneys. Kidneys. A couple of new studies came out on the kidneys, and I just want to go over that. We'll do a little teaching. What are your kidneys? You know, make them pretty basic, but just understand how your kidneys function, what happens, how do you get kidney problems, what to do about it, how to protect your kidneys. You ain't gonna live well without kidneys, so you need them. Understand how they work. And I think you will appreciate that. Okay, so I got a little demo here. So for people that will be listening down the road to a podcast, I'm doing an illustration here this morning. So I want you to picture it in your mind if you're not on live with us. But I brought a glass out of tomato juice, a little bit of salsa in there, okay? So let me stir it up. And just because your blood, you know, obviously red, it's a little darker red than that, but we put a little bit of salsa in there because I want to show you what your kidneys are doing, okay? So then I brought out a strainer, okay? See the strainer? And another glass. So I'm just going to pour this in, pour the salsa in, and tomato juice. Pretend this is your blood, because that's what happens. What are the kidneys doing? Well, kidneys got four main functions. We'll talk about that, okay? Four main functions. Number one is to filter out toxins out of your blood, impurities. So I'm pouring this, and I'll show you this in a second, okay? Your kidneys are like, you see the filter there, the strainer? That's what your kidneys are like. Blood's going through there, and they're filtering out, okay? They don't allow things to stay in the bloodstream that are not good for you. So they strain it. You got a strainer there, okay? So as you can see, it's straining into the bottom. Now you can see that again. For those on a podcast, understand that I'm just showing an illustration. So kidneys are there for that reason. That's one of the biggest reasons. And then, of course, they're producing urine. And you want all of that stuff to leave via your urine. But one of the best things that you can do, and now I got some water. Think of your kidneys as Niagara Falls. You ever been to Niagara Falls? Put your hand up if you've been to Niagara Falls. What do you see when you go to Niagara Falls? Not the city, the falls. What do you see? 2 in the morning, 4 in the morning, 4 in the afternoon. It don't matter. Water is continuously flowing. I can't emphasize this enough, how you need to pour minimum of 2 liters of water to strain, to clean the strainer. Your kidneys are the strainer. The salsa, it's thick. You don't want that stain there. You want to pour water all the time through that process. And guys, only water is water for your kidneys, okay? So let me just leave that up here, okay. I'm making a mess is what I'm doing on my desk. That's all right. Here we go. So only water is water. The biggest problem in kidneys and kidney disease is the lack of water. I listened to a colleague of mine the other day on YouTube. And I tell you, I don't know as if they never see patients and they're just researchers. The guy's smart and he gave some good teaching, but he said one of the problems is don't drink too much water. Well, I guess you could drink too much water. I agree with that, too much. The problem is I never see it. He said, wait till you're thirsty. It's just the opposite. You must get into the habit of drinking water. It's a habit. Your kidneys will thank you. How do you think you make kidney stones? Whether they're oxalate from vegetables and chocolate and tea, or they're uric acid crystals. Your body makes uric acid. It's one of the byproducts. Your body makes it. But your body's smart. It wants to get rid of any extra uric acid. It turns it into urea. And you're supposed to pee it out. You want to pee it out. But the illustration of the strainer, which is your kidneys, you better be pouring water through there all the time. Niagara Falls, guys. Niagara Falls. So very, very important, okay? Let me just give you another couple of functions. Do you know that your kidneys help in the manufacturing of vitamin D? You think your kidneys are important? Dehydroxy-25 helps your blood levels, your blood serum levels of vitamin D. Big study out again on vitamin D. We'll talk about that this week. I promise. So kidneys, they help with vitamin D. They help with straining, obviously, getting rid of the toxins, turning them into urea, forming urine. Right? And then the kidneys are help your pH. Your pH in your blood has to be in a very narrow range, slightly alkaline. Your body will do everything it can to keep your pH of your blood in that slightly alkaline state. Kidneys have a huge, huge factor on that. And you don't want to strain your kidneys. You keep your pH of your blood, water. Water. So they form urine, they regulate your fluids, and listen, they help in, here's another function, blood pressure. When your kidneys will help to control your blood pressure. This is why doctors, go back 100 years, we're telling people don't eat too much salt because that's going to affect your kidneys and that is going to affect your bloodstream. Hypothetically, that's true. Hypothetically, it's true, especially if you eat the wrong salt, which is table salt, sodium chloride. But blood pressure is really more about sugar than it is salt. Your kidneys get assaulted by sugar. It's an assault. Sugar abuses your kidneys. You don't believe me? Ask a diabetic. Diabetics are 100% more likely to have kidney malfunction. It's not salt, it's sugar. And your kidneys won't function properly unless you lay off the sugars. And by the way, the worst sugar is what? High fructose corn syrup. Another study came out, you know what I call it? The antichrist of sugars. That's what the food industry uses today. Don't get fooled by the food industry. You know why? They masquerade the high fructose corn syrup. They're rarely ever put on a label because they got caught. Because high fructose, fructose comes from fruit, must be good. Comes from corn, really. Corn syrup, must be good. Nah, that's the worst garbage in the world. That is sugar on steroids. New study came out, I'll talk about it, on behavior and high fructose corn syrup. But I'll promise you we'll get to that. But sugar is what destroys kidneys. A lack of water destroys kidneys. A lack of vitamin D. Can't metabolize vitamin D if you don't have vitamin D. It's not Houdini. Can't make it up. You got to be, you're a human solar panel. You need the sun. And when there's no sun, you need to substitute and take vitamin D, which I did this morning. Because we're in Northern Ontario. And you're not going sunbathing anytime soon. So, kidneys, what do? They filter. Think of a strainer. If you go into a men's washroom, and you go for a pee, oftentimes you'll see within the urinal that there's a strainer there. It wants to take out, because a lot of people throw their gum and they I don't know, that I can't see them smoking in a public building anymore. But, so you want your kidneys to last you a lifetime. You understand what they do. You understand what they do. What happens to kidneys if you have dehydration and you have sugar, you're a sugarholic? I mean, who the heck today isn't? But one of the worst things, and how does it affect see, your kidneys work. How do they work? I mean, we know what they do, but how do they work? Well, they work because you got blood supply going to the organ. You have arteries and capillaries. And arteries, just like your heart, get damaged by sugar. Sugar, what it does, left in the bloodstream, it destroys your blood vessels. It destroys those little capillaries. The same way it will destroy your eyes. And people get macular degeneration, or they get glaucoma, or they get diabetic retinopathy, cataracts. How do you get that? Blood supply. And the little blood supply to your kidneys are damaged because sugar does not belong in the blood. It can't stay there. That's insulin's job. It must get sugars out. Well, doc, my sugars are normal. Yeah, but they may be high normal. The destruction starts rapidly of blood vessels. And if you do not have a good blood supply to your kidneys, and if you don't drink enough water, so if you have sugar destroys the blood vessels to the kidneys. And then if you don't have proper blood supply, that filter, that screening process, the mesh doesn't work as well. It'll affect your blood pressure. It's not salt, it's sugar. And I know it goes against the grain, but it's true. So it's really, really important to understand that. Kidneys, you want them to last a lifetime. So you can get acute kidney disease. You know what, by the way, let me talk about what is the number one source. Sugar, yes. But what is the number one source of acute kidney damage? Chronic kidney damage, number one, is sugar. It's your diet. But do you know what the number one acute kidney destruction, damage? Do you know what it is? Medication. Medication. The number one acute damage to kidneys that sometimes cannot be restored is non-steroidal anti-inflammatories like Advil. People live, oh, doc, I got migraines, okay, and that's no fun. But you just need to understand when you take, even if it's over the counter, non-steroidal anti-inflammatories are the number one damager to kidneys in what they call acute kidney disease. Non-steroidal anti-inflammatories. Let me tell you what number. So Advil, Motrin, and Tylenol. Now, Tylenol is harder on your liver than it is on your kidneys. So pick your poison. And guys, please, I understand pain. Who likes pain? So it's really important to understand that if you're taking Advil or Tylenol or Aleve, just understand that and I'll tell you guys, this is well documented. People don't realize that is not, oh, doc, I get it over the counter. Aspirin. Oh yeah, but I want to thin my blood because I got a history of heart disease. Just be careful. All I'm saying is these are facts. You know what number 2 list on the medications that damage your kidneys? Antibiotics. Antibiotics damage the kidneys. In acute kidney disease, antibiotics. How does that happen? Well, they destroy the friendly bacteria. You know what, guys? You got bacteria. Most of it is in your gut. You got over 3 trillion bacteria in your body. We talk about this all the time. The invisible, they call the COVID the invisible enemy. Well, you have there's an invisible war going on in your body all the time between good and bad bacteria. It's one of the reasons I'm telling you, quit over cleaning. I know, Doc, we gotta wash our hands, and I know, but don't overdo it and use soap and water or oil of oregano because you don't want to overclean. Anyways, I don't want to get into that. I'm just telling you. So the number 1 acute kidney disease is caused by non-steroidal anti-inflammatories. And even the over-counter ones. The other one is antibiotics. They kill your friendly bacteria. And your kidneys need bacteria to work. They need good guys. You don't want to destroy that. Antibiotics can cause kidney damage. You know what the third one is in terms of drugs? Chemotherapy. So if you know anyone on chemotherapy, try and convince them to be taking probiotics. It's so important. Yeah. A lot of people after chemotherapy, the kidneys don't work properly anymore. So these are just side effects. So we talked about acute kidney disease and chronic kidney disease. Chronic kidney disease is sugar that destroys your blood vessels, your capillaries, your arteries, the blood supply to the kidneys. The biggest factor. And the third one is kidney stones. Most kidney stones, not all of them, about 80%, maybe 75, 80% are oxalate. A byproduct of your veggies. That's all right. I'm not saying they're bad for you. Okay, please. I'm not saying that. I'm just telling you where they come from. Oxalates. They can form stones, but not if you're drinking enough water to filter that. Okay? So, acute, chronic, and kidney stones. Anybody ever had kidney stones? They're no fun. Ladies, what do they tell you? They're like having a baby, except, when you have a baby, you get a prize at the end. Right? You got a baby. When you have kidney stones, you get the pain, but no prize. It ain't no fun. Right? Those stones get caught. They start leaving the kidneys. Your body tries to get rid of them, and if they start tearing on their way down to the urethra, they're no fun at all. Okay. So what do we do? Oh, by the way, here's the fourth one on I didn't even mention this. The fourth one that can cause acute kidney disease are heavy metals like mercury, lead, cadmium. Can be damaging to the kidneys. And the other reason because they go together. The other reason that I mentioned antibiotics, they destroy the good bacteria, right? They kill your infection, but they destroy your good bacteria. What happens after they destroy your good bacteria? The third army comes in and invades your kidneys. It can invade your brain. I was talking to a colleague the other day, and I said, well, the biggest thing that I saw in autism is candida. It's yeast. It's fungus. Folks, fungus gets into the brain. That's what I believe autism is. It's a fungal infection. But in kidneys, you get dysbiosis. And this is me, okay? This is the way my little brain thinks. A lot of times heavy metals cannot be filtered out of your body, like mercury and lead and cadmium, because you have dysbiosis. Yeast is a big time carrier of heavy metals. You know what another carrier of heavy metals is? Fat. Not fat in the bloodstream, fat in your tissue. If obesity, why it's so, look, obviously obesity is insulin. And we already talked about sugar, but another thing, obesity, remember, like when you have, and I'm just showing on the podcast, I'm showing fat. When you have extra fat around what we call visceral fat, okay? This is what it looks like, okay? I'm just showing a yellow glob of fat. Problem with this tissue, it, number one, creates inflammation because your body sees it as a foreign invader, believe it or not. But the second thing is, guess what fat does? This fat around your organs do. It holds on to heavy metals like mercury, lead. Fat loves heavy metals. Cadmium, aluminum. So you get a double whammo with obesity. And this is what I wanted to talk to you about. What were factors? Well, obviously diabetes. The other one, obesity. And high blood pressure over a period of time. What does that do? Well, that just destroys your blood vessels. But remember, if you bring high blood pressure back enough, like you can take a diuretic, for example. And I understand, because in medicine, they're trying to regulate your blood pressure. I completely understand that. But why do you have high blood pressure? Sugar. Yeah. Now, I talked to a young lady the other day that had like idiopathic high blood pressure from a young age. Okay, but that's so rare. That's so rare. And we talked about dysbiosis. We talked about, and even your thyroid, by the way. And I say this mostly to ladies. If you have hypothyroid, it can affect your kidneys. It affects everything. It's your metabolism. Your thyroid is the gas pedal. It slows everything down or speeds everything up. It's your metabolism. And we see so much especially hypothyroidism today. And one of the big reasons on the thyroid is a puppet. It doesn't act on its own. One of the big reasons that of thyroid malfunction, ladies, is estrogen dominance. We live in a crazy world full of estrogen, every chemical. Okay, so what do you do? What do you do for kidney function? Numero uno, H2O, or at the Martin Clinic, vitamin W. See my 2 fingers? 2 liters. For my American friends, that's 64 ounces. 64 ounces of water every day. How do I know how much? Look, everybody's a little bit, but I'm telling you, after 46 years of clinical experience, 2 liters, 64 ounces will do it. Now, some people need more, but very few people that I've ever met need less. And please do not listen to the nonsense. Oh, Dr. Martin, I'm not thirsty. When I get up in the morning, I am thirsty for a coffee. I will not allow myself to have a coffee without first having a half a liter of water, or 16 ounces for my American friends. It's a habit. Every morning I will not allow, all I can think of is having a coffee. Oh, I got out of bed. I need a coffee. Am I hooked? Yes, I'm hooked. On vitamin C, coffee, the real vitamin C. But I won't allow it till I have a half a liter of water. The vast majority of people on the planet, especially in North America, are dehydrated. They don't drink enough water. And there's nothing that will dehydrate you is if you eat a lot of sugar, because sugar, it leaches out your magnesium and your electrolytes, your potassium. You need water. You need water. Please. 2 liters, 64 ounces. Every day, 7 days a week. You want to protect your kidneys? You want your kidneys to last a lifetime? Trust me. I've proven it when I say thousands, it's probably hundreds of thousands of people. I showed them. They're dehydrated. Wouldn't it be nice if they had a little light on the top of their head that was flashing? Add water, add water. But you know what happens? You start drinking water, and then guess what? Your thirst mechanism starts to kick in. You're protecting your kidneys. Lay off the sugars. You're protecting your kidneys. Okay? Drink lots of water. You need vitamin D for your kidneys. Your kidneys need vitamin D. If you have low levels of vitamin D, your kidneys don't work properly. And they help in the processing of vitamin D. Vitamin D, vitamin D. Not only for your immune system, but your kidney function and your heart function and your brain function and you're a human solar panel. Your kidneys need, kidney function really helps when you lower inflammation. That's why I'm big on omega-3. I'm big on high levels of nitric oxide, your blood vessels. What's nitric oxide? It's an explosion. In 1980, they found out that your blood vessels have nitric oxide. We didn't even know that when I was in school. We knew about nitroglycerin that would give you nitro when you had angina, but we didn't know that the body actually had that. It was discovered in 1980. I remember when they discovered it. What helps your blood vessels? That's why I love pine bark. There's nothing better for nitric oxide than pine bark. And another one, B12. Yes, your kidneys can get damaged by a lack of B12. How do you get B12 in food? Chicken? Vegetables? Nah. Red meat. That younger generation, oh, they don't know what they're doing to themselves. They will not outlive their parents and probably won't outlive their grandparents. I'm telling you, they're drinking the Kool-Aid. Right? This vegetarianism, veganism, it's a religion. It's not good for you. I'm sorry. How do you get B12? My diet, I got to get B12. Somebody said, why? Why don't you eat it? Well, I don't like, it's not good for you. Well, how could it not be good for you? How could God put B12 in one food and then tell you it ain't good for you? Hello? I'm sorry. Hear the wood up there? I don't get it. Other than it's propaganda. Okay, I don't want to get too uptight. Okay, there's your kidneys. A little nutshell of study on your kidneys. How they work. You know what to do. Share this with your friends. Share this with your family. You want to save your kidneys, guys. You ain't going to have a good life, and you won't have a long life without kidneys. You know, there's dialysis. I get it. That's gone up about 1,000,000% in the last 20 years even. Isn't it funny that high fructose corn syrup in a graph up 300% in the last 20 years? High fructose corn syrup in a graph. And guess what's up? Kidney disease. Dialysis up 300%. You think there's a link? I do. Okay. Love you guys. God willing, we'll see each other tomorrow. I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate the faithfulness of our audience, really. And that audience is growing, and we appreciate that. You have no idea. Okay? So, talk to you soon.